Upina kuphi madolobheni asekomplasta khona sagumore mlungeli sesifikile thina nehlelo ilungelo lakho it's your right sithemba ukuthi ke nilithokotele lisuku lwanamhla lomagugu namasiko iHeritage Day mina ke ngingisimpiyo encongwane khumbula ukuthi nawe asikakuvaleli ngaphandle kulolu hlelo nawe futhi sitakupha isikhathi sekuthi ke ube ingcenye yalo lolu hlelo kwamanje ke asingene endzabeni yethu namhla. Having your home repossessed by the bank due to financial trouble is tough, but having it sold at an auction for close to nothing is heartbreaking. Now, this is the reality many homeowners go through when banks foreclose on properties that are still in arrears. Now, a recent High Court judgment has brought or raised hopes for property owners that this practice might be its last days. Now, today, we look at whether such hope is misplaced or not. Yebo ngibukele kuthathwa kwendlu kwelibhange ukuthi ithengiswe ngesento sekuthi ke awusakhoni kuyibhadala yindlu lebhlungu leyo. Kanti ke lokhu ke kubukana nebanini betindlu abanyeni. Sijuba senkantolo ephakeme ke siletha lithemba kubanikati betindlu ukuthi ke lokhu kungahle kuphele. Asisibuke ke nasi siceshana.
Ngenyaka May kulonyaka, Yilungelo Lakho laveza inqaku lika Given Nkwane waseGarankuwa. uNkwane waboleka imali yokuthenga indlu ebhankini ngo-2011. Kodwa izinto zaqala ukuba nzima xa engaphumeleli ukuhlawula inhlawulo abekele yona inyanga nenyanga ngenxa yengxaki zezimali. Wayazisa ibhanki ngengxaki yakhe wabanaso nesisombululo senhlawulo.
The first question that I asked them is that if I fail to pay my installment, does it affect the value of the house? If I fail to pay, does it affect the value of the house? They said no.
Kodwa umnumzana Nkwane zange akwazi ukubhatala ngokwesivumelwano. Waze wanikwa ingcebiso yokuba ayithengise indlu leyo phansi kwenkqubo ebizwa ngokuba yi-easy sell nelungiselele ukunceda kwiimeko ezikumila kunje. Nakweli ityeli akahambanga ngokwesivumelwano. Emva koko ibhanki yagqiba ngolokuba ithengise indlu yakhe ngexabiso eliphantsi kakhulu.
By the time it went to auction, the value of this house was 470,000, and they sold it for 40,000. Why are you selling it for 40,000? And how does the debt happen? Because I don't know how to tell you that time when I found out that it was sold for 40,000. No, I didn't even. I don't know how to explain this. It was so sad. It was so painful. I feel like I've lost everything.
Ungomnye kwabaninzi ababukela amakhaya abo ethinjwa kuba bengasakwazi ukuhlawula. Kodwa oku sekutshintshiwe sisigqibo sakutshanje. Isigwebo sithi izindlu azinakuthengiswa kwintengiso yasesihlangalaleni ngaphandle kwexabiso elifanelekileyo. Omnye umba wesigwebo kukuba amandla okuphakamisa isivumelwano senhlawulo yebond akumnini ndlu hayi apho uboleka khona imali. Nangona oku kusajongene nabahlali baseGauteng kuphela, amagqwetha alandela elityala akholelwa ukuba oku kungasebenza kuzwelonke.
Manje khuluma kabanti ngalesinqumo senkantolo lephakeme ngekuthengisa kwetindlu letigweletako ngemali lencane ngemabhange asasimukele tivakashi tethu ke sinaba beKing Sibiya lomeleke ilungelo lethu Human Rights Foundation siphinde sibe nababebangiso mlabeli longummeli. Gentlemen, a very good afternoon to you and welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you so much.
We've had you on the show previously just a while back talking about the very same issue, but that was before you guys went to court. But now that the court has issued this judgment, how does it make you feel?
Okay. Okokuqala nje ngikhuluma isiZulu ngoba ngomZulu today ngiyajabula ngoba ngikhuluma kulungelo lami ngikhuluma isiZulu sami isiZulu ilimi lakithi. Now thina abantu base South Africa kufanele ngijabule kakhulu. You see now I'm a happiest man than anybody else, because you'll remember ukuthi bengilwa lempi yokuthi nginga-understand ukuthi why these properties thengiswe ngale mali. Sinama property mangenzi research about 10 rands, 100 rands, 50 rands, which is for me it was unacceptable. because kule country sinama market value, you know, which is now a property. But why the banks, when they're selling these properties, they don't use the market value, you know? So in 2015, we request ukuthi akwamende lo mthetho ukuthi kukwazi ukukompela ama-court ukuthi kube nalezinto ze-reserve price, especially at the High Court level and the Magistrate Court level. Now, the amendment is very clear. Iyangijabulisa ngoba I was in court making an affidavit. Now, the court has agreed to all my relief sought that I wanted. You know, ukuthi kube nje namhlanje. So, this is not only happy for me, but for the people of South Africa, because, you know, white and black. So, from now on today, I'm the happiest man because ngiyazi ukuthi court is going to not to accept anything. You understand that against, because normally ama-bank they were deciding, you know, they were deciding factor because we were owing ama-bank.
Okay, so for the benefit of laba join the discussion lena for the very first time, ungasibuyisela emva ukuthi kahle kahle itsiteni le nkantolo nekuthi yini sizathu sekuthi nini niye enkantolo benifuna ini kahle kahle?
Okay, thina masiye enkantolo besifuna ukuthi kunezinto eziningi. For instance, inkantolo ama-bank ujudge ureserve uzokhumbula ukuthi ngeyi-22 zika-December last year i-gazette was gazetted, eshoyo ukuthi manje kube ne-reserve price. Now-ke i-High Court yase-Johannesburg felt ukuthi no, because then sokuna this lokuzana gazette akube nento ebizwa i-manual practice. Ujudge president now set up, that's why bokuyi-full bench court ukuthi manje ikwazi ukuza ngalento ye-reserve price ngoba ujudge wa-reserve lama case ayi-4, 3 e-ABSA and 1 for a-Standard Bank. Bokwa ilento ebizwa i-default judgment. So it means those people, i-court had to grant an order in the absence of those people. So ujudge wabona ukuthi no, awa-reserve lama-judgment so that ukuthi kunomthetho ebizwa-ke i-section 14 in terms of Supreme Court practice. Onikeza judge president now igunya to set up a manual practice. So now kule manual practice I was involved. Ukuphikisa ama-bank because the argument was against the case for ama-bank. So ama-bank stating their side of the story. So I had to come in and give a court version. So the court has agreed on that. So that's why today we have this reserve price agreed.
Baba Mlabeli, legally speaking, is this a progressive move?
Well, yeah, I think simply, let me just correct Mlabeni.
Oh, okay, I beg your pardon.
Yeah. I think it is a progressive move in this way. Previously, default judgments, basically a granted judge in the court. There's a granted registrar of court. Once you issued summons, I'll prove a sheriff return. The summons was either served or was served on the property. And I could not defense within the prescribed period. Because go to register of court to I've served, they didn't defend, so give me a default judgment. And once you get a default judgment, then you can proceed and attach and sell the property to Ngayas. But now what the court has decided in this case is that it did a number of things, but the key thing going forward, if sheriff server is summons, they must be served on the individual personally. They can serve somewhere else so the person knows, because in terms of Section 26 of the Constitution, the right to housing is guaranteed in the Constitution, and the Constitution also gives the court a role to play a judicial oversight in all these properties that involve the infringement of human rights. Therefore, in this case, what the court has done has introduced what they call judicial oversight. So every summons which involves deprivation of umuntu, especially if it's a primary home, that summons is no longer being taken to the sheriff, to the registrar. It goes to a judge, and that judge must make a decision. And now what the court is saying is that the 4 things must be established. 1, when you issue summons, because the first thing is that it's because umuntu has defaulted. So when the person has defaulted, you must not only allege the default with summons, because that default is linked to the house. So you must also talk about that action. I want to foreclose this house because this person has defaulted. So the court makes an informed decision. And what the court is also saying is that if foreclosure must be the last resort, firstly, you must try to see if you can assist the consumer. Because Yonginto is now consumer-oriented, consumer-related. And even the Section 129 National Credit Act, it says, before ungayakwi foreclosure, you must try to find ways of either seeing if you can bring assist the person with judicial assisting with the debt relief processes.
So, just to interrupt you there, so when does that make you happy, like personally? Do you think it's solely for the restoration of Mamalungelo Bantu?
Yes, it does make me happy because it aligns the process of foreclosures with the Constitution, because the Constitution guarantees you shelter. But if that right is to be taken away, it should not be taken away from you lightly. A rigorous process has to be done, especially because your home is what you have, and you have linked the home to the bond. So a person who wants to take it away from you must ensure that it is not taken lightly. They assist you, the bank assists you first in trying to find alternative ways of resolving your problems, and including involving the court, because the court is enjoined to play judicial oversight by Section 8 of the Constitution. Okay. Yeah.
So, who does this judgment affect? Because we've had cases of over 100,000 people. So, who does it affect?
Hey, it's affecting. Now we'll be able to take the next step. For us, it's a first step. The next step we need to go to court for a class action. To sue our banks. That's what we are doing now. Now, I must be honest with you. Now, I have a huge, because research says South Africa is the worst country when it comes to Goma eviction, repossession of property. And you must know, 100,000 households were evicted since 1994 until now. You see, now the question should be, where are those people? How they live? You know? Now, you can see now, Mang Pumala is studio. If only me, it's a you know, because I'm receiving more than 200 calls per day. You know, because what it means, the issue, it's big, it's huge. Because I'm getting calls Cape Town, you know, all over the country. Senegal, you name them. Now I'm opening up a new office now in Cape Town. I must open up a new office. In Durban already, I'm there because there are huge problems in relation to this. There's a crisis, you know, because mang volanji phone. Yeah, but mang charge phone. Funeke ngivale. Ngoba can't, ngoba ugeza ngwazi ugeza ekseni. Because it's phone after phone. Abanye baze banga-accuse nokuthi angitholakali. Now, ama messages now, there are more than 1,401 currently now, as I'm speaking to you.
Ngicela sibambe lapho ke ngoba ngathi ngiyafuna ngivale zaba le. Bukela sibambe khona lapho sisishela ngasetolo. Please join us after this break. Sikwamukele futhi mbukele icingo tethu ke setivuliwe ukuthi nawe ungaba ingcenye yalo lihlelo lwethu. Ungasishaya icingo ke lapha e-studio ku-011-7146-6018 noma ke ku-011-714-6919. Ungasithumela futhi kune-email ku-consumer@sabc.co.za. Ungaphinde uthole futhi ku-Facebook na ku-Twitter. Sachubeka nehlelo lethu ke. Asasikhuluma ke ngama-advantages nema-disadvantages ekuthenga i-property le-distressed.
Hey.
Would you advise people to buy those properties?
Hey, you see, the problem yami yokuthi, you know, manje into ebhede yokuthi so kunempi black on black violence. In this sense, ngoba lezi zinto zithengwa abantu bakithi abamnyama. Uyabona enye into enzima. Now, you'll find ukuthi ama banks wona awekho enkingeni sokusele thina singabantu. Siyachisana, yabona senzana zonke lezi zinto, because you see the problem yethu enkulu esinayo ile ubaba khulume ngayo. Ama case amaningi esinawo awama default judgment. Akukho la khona, you know, ama case amaningi where i-bank in particular la yenza eviction order khona. You'll find ukuthi abanye abantu kuze umuntu osethi ngithenga indlu yakho ngihlala endlini. Yayibona na ngazi nokuthi indlu yami when it went on auction angina court order anginani. Umsebenzi wethu omkhulu manje uku-investigate those cases because we believe ukuthi ayikho umuntu ongakhishwa endlini yakhe without i-court order i-order ye-court yayithola now umuntu mawuthi ambuza uthi angazi lutho mina yabona angizange ngibizwe court now kufuneke kunomsebenzi mawuthi maya uyabheka size deeds office size sithola ukuthi ngempela on such day indlu yalomuntu uthengisiwe but yena he's not aware you understand manje i-case enzima ngoba sene third party involved ngoba i-court ithi umuntu othenge indlu ku-auction is an innocent buyer ibuyer ethembekile ngoba ithenge kubani ku-sheriff u-sheriff is an officer of the court so kusho ukuthi court ngeke ibe against u-sheriff yabona unless kuna something else but in the process now yibo ubunzima esinabo obuningi bokuthi abantu bakithi they never been in court yayibona now yabona lento yama-default judgment yabona
Baba Mhlabeli, is it too early to celebrate? Singajabula linyalo after the judgment issue and angeke space sesikhanza sekuthiwa ke seya appeal the judgment and the appeal court bese seyirula otherwise.
Now you see this judgment I think we celebrate in the following sense ukuthi this was not an appeal from a lower court to a higher court. This is a judge from the lower court, Judge van der Linde. I think makabhekana nezi cases phambi kwakhe wathi in order to have a uniformity of approach, to formalize the system, let me rather ask the judge president to refer these matters to the full bench so that the full bench can make a ruling that will be a guide, a rule that will be a precedent so that all of us, Lower Court, we are able to follow this ruling. And this ruling is based on the current practice manual, which was made in December 2017, which now include the issues of reserve price. The reserve price, if you buy a property at auction, what the court is saying is that you cannot sell a property for 40,000 rand or 10 rand. The court says the bank and the consumer finally beg a younger information before the court to go to how much is the property owing, what is the value of the property, and what is it as going to be a default judgment, and how much is it owing to municipality, how much is it owing for levies, if there are levies, and any other information. If the person is able to put that information, the bank is able to put that information, then let's agree on a reserve price. The court will put the price, this cannot be sold under this price because it must, whatever, if my thing is it must take care of what is being owed, at least something and it must also take care of the debts. And what the court also ruled is that in the past, before you
talk to us about the second part of that ruling, let's take a first call. Yilungelo Lakho Gauteng. Sakumole hlelo nisawubonga Thuli.
Hello likhaya.
Siyaphila kunjani ma?
Ngikhona.
Siyaphila. What's on your mind?
Can I participate you for Mr. Sibia? The first one is that in our case, our mother, she died in 1988, having bought the house for us. And we were still young. And we were told that the insurance is to cover for whatever the debt which was outstanding. But later, the house, it was taken away by the bank and it's been sold for 15,000 rand. And now we are homeless. So, can you help us with the case of 1988? And secondly, is it true, is it fair, if the house was covered by the insurance, why the bank is Zion?
All right, Trudy Sebonga.
Thank you.
I think the question is in two parts, and I would like you to address the first part, which is, can this judgment be applied retrospectively? Now,
okay, yeah, now, okokuqala usisi ukhuluma kahle ukuthi ngo-1988 among abumzwile ukuthi you know ama mortgage bond ukustart ama mortgage bond started ngabo 1986 in particular kwakama two-room and garage before you build a new house. You understand? Aqale kanjalo. Now ke usisi abosambo NBS laba khuluma ngazo before kuba nabo ABSA before kuba nabo Nedbank. So ke yiba abantu esibatargeta kakhulu labo abosisi abatarget. So ke usisi must come to our office 107 Albertina Sisulu, Corner Small and Albertina Sisulu.
Okay. So okay, please repeat that.
Yes, 107 Albertina Sisulu. Yabo Ejobek, Johannesburg, Corner Small. Now, okay, angizele na the following documents, please. This is important. What is another document? Okokuqala is a mortgage bond. I need you sign a contract between yourself and the bank. That's one. Number two, a statement of accounts. In other words, being service account, I need to be patali bond. No man defaulted, but we want those statements as a proof. The last one, a court order of the court, because it is important that a court order see born, because we can't work. You must, if there's an order of court, we must start there.
Insurance.
Correct that. Now the insurance, the police will explain that whether there was an insurance. I need a mortgage bond. That's why it's for a document. I need to try to because you see, the question of insurance, I'm going to any given, since the long issues, I go corner. Insurance has paid so much, but about there's an insurance in the mortgage bond, because the researching is that good. I'm a bank later, they ask this insurance on your behalf. You don't get nothing. So that's why we need to take banks to court for irregularities.
Okay. So since the question be in two parts,
yes,
insurance retrospectively. So can this judgment be applied retrospectively?
I think a case truly is different from what was decided the court. What is decided the court is the principle of whether, number one, can we bring together the money judgment and the foreclosure in one action? And the court said it has to be. And number two, going forward, anyone who issues a summon or any document commencing action, a letter of demand, that letter must state clearly a person has a right, if there is an overdue amount, to pay that money within that process. And once you pay that money, it brings the bond up to date. Therefore, you are seen to have satisfied the judgment if you brought your bond up to date and you paid them bank charges and you paid tax or agreed costs as a bank. So those are the important things. But the court said this is progressive. But each case, I apply retrospectively. But each case cannot be seen to be retrospective or otherwise, because I can be in court. Okay. But what the court has said is that once the judgment has been taken and the property has been sold, it will be difficult to reinstate the agreement, because now the train has left the station.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Sinasibongile lapha eSecunda sakumele ehleleni sawubona?
Sawubona njani baba?
Siyaphila kunjani Sibongile?
Siyaphila.
Siphilile, ukhuluma nathi.
Sibongile Matlala, ngihlala eMbalenhle eSecunda.
Welcome.
Yeah, ngakhishwa endlini ngo-2009. Yeah, nguthisha ngeprofession.
Okay.
Bengisesikolweni ngafonelwa kwamakhelwane ukuthi angiphangise. Ngathola kugcwele amapolisa, ngaboshwa ngalovalelwa 2 days. Mangibuya kuthiwa ngiphume endlini yami. Namanje ngisandinda nginandawo ukuhlala nabantwana.
Yini isizathu sokukhishwa kwakho endlini?
Isizathu indlu yayithengwa ngubaba kodwa sishadile nobaba. Yeah. Kusho means mina ngangakhona ukuthi carry on ubaba unenkinga ngibhadala ubaba wayebeserentshenshiwe emsebenzini.
Okay. So ikhona i-court order leyaphuma leyakhishwa ngendaba ekuthi kukhishwe yena lapha endlini?
Zange sithole.
Bobani labakhipha? Which authorities?
Ngakhishwa amaphoyisa ngama-SAP. Ngaboshwa ngama-SAP ngathola itraffic lam bathi bayangitrespass.
Okay, Esther Kancane, can you respond to this? Because it's very bizarre.
Let me respond, Bob.
It's very bizarre.
Amaphoyisa, you see, angazi ukuthi amaphoyisa mama wangeni kwi-eviction. Amaphoyisa ajoyina usheriff, akhapha usheriff, akhampani usheriff.
Nakhona kube ne-court order.
Correct.
Yeah.
No one on the right to evict a person, without a sheriff of the court. A sheriff has been given powers in terms of Section 2, the Sheriff's Act. These are powers and the function of the sheriff. So therefore, awukwazi ukukhishwa amaphoyisa. Amaphoyisa makuzwenza eviction, usheriff oba involved removing impahla zabantu. Amaphoyisa amela lapha ekudeni ukwenzela ukuthi when
Sibongile, you can drop the call and then stay tuned to Yilungelo Lakho, then our guest batakusita kulelo hlangothi. Siyabonga kakhulu kusishayela. Okay, ungachubeka.
Yes. Now, I was saying ukuthi usheriff kuphela onelungelo lokuthi azokhipha. Usheriff oqala kufanele azidentify ukuthi ngusheriff of the court. Naye ngizoke shooter this naye court order ngiyiphethe ethi ngizokhipha labantu today. Now you see kuna problem enkulu la. system yethu. That's why you know system yethu in South Africa is brutal and abusive. Yabo ngoba uthola ukuthi indlu eyi1 senama owners ayi5 are different. You see? Indlu yakho iyi1 ina 5 different owners. Now usheriff mayizo keeper. Ukeeper bani? That's another question. So okay, therefore but usisi mayesho amaphoyisa they don't have a right ukuthi bamkhiphe endlini bokufuneka kube usheriff omkhiphe endlini. Now okwesibili bokufuneka ukuthi usisi mayicede kuyevictwa. Mayicede kuyevictwa. Then trespassing is a different, it's a criminal case now. Yayithola now bokufuneka appear a court to say ngoba kusho ukuthi mangabe trespassive kusho ukuthi usheriff omkhiphile yena wazibuyisela endlini. We understand. You cannot be evicted and trespassing at the same time.
Okay.
You can't. It doesn't happen in that way.
All right. Okay, we still managed to re-establish connection na Sibongile. Sibongile ulapha ke esekunda. Sakumela futhi ehlelweni sawubona Sibongile.
Yebo sawubona baba.
Okay, no ungachubeka ngendaba yakho baba.
Yebo sawubona.
Yes, you are on air mama, ungachubeka.
Ngithi ngakhishwa endlini namanje angabekho endlini ngisahlala phansi lonto ngisasebenza futhi.
Okay.
Angasho ukuthi ngikhishwa kanjani ngenze njani ngoba le phone yami.
Okay. Can I also come in maybe?
Okay. Mhlabeli ungamsitha kulolu hlangothi.
You see, this is the problem we experienced in the past when the lawyers will just go to a register of court and get a default judgment and run and do evictions. So what the decision High Court now is trying to address that. No order that involves either eviction or foreclosure will be done without the judge being involved. In the past, judges were not involved. It be answered by the clerk or secretary, registrar. They just put a stamp. So, and a lot of people have lost properties through these fraudulent transactions. And I think.
So, what relief does Sibongile have?
I think it can try to help because normally there is what we call a prescription of a claim. If one claim, she should have instituted a claim within 3 years or issued a summons within 3 years. So legally they may say the claim has prescribed. But now, because there's a class action in place, maybe she can be brought into that class action and see if she can get a relief through that. Since
the eviction was clumsily carried out with no court order, no sheriff involved, yes. It's just police. Can she get can that eviction be set aside?
It can be. It can be. Yes, it can be set aside. If it can be proved that it was not properly followed.
Eviction is set aside.
Yeah, she can either see Abu Baba or she can see us, and then we can see how we can assist from our office. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Let me emphasize on this again.
Yes.
Let me come in.
Let's take this short break.
Yes.
Please hold your thought, Baba. Please hold your thought. Mbugela, please don't go away. Welcome back. Khumbula ukuthi ngimashayela icingo ku 0117146918 noma ke 0117146919 ukuvakalisa umbono wakho. Our email address is consumer@sabc.co.za. Ungasithola futhi na ku Facebook na ku Twitter. But before we went to that break, khona liphuzu kufuna kulenda.
Yeah, no, bengifuna ukwenza nje simple question kusisi ukunikeza i-answer. Yokuthi yibo labantu esibatargetayo. Uyabona, especially from Usibongile lwasesikhunda. Now usisi ushilo wathi ke maybe she might not have an order of court, but ikhona sizoyitracer. You understand? Into esizifuna kuyeqala keze ne mortgage bond yakhe.
Okay.
I-contract yakhe nebank. 2, ama-statement of account. If then the court order njengoba asho ukuthi akanayo sizoyitrace deeds office will file the court order.
All right. Yeah, let's take a look at Facebook messages that have been coming through this hour.
Ngicela nje ukuthi eze to our address, yes.
All right. Tebogo Utsi, home loans are now a financial trap. Houses are taken every day, but we have a right to houses. Now, instead of waiting for the government to give us houses, we buy since we're capable. But the moment you're not able to repay the banks, takes the house. It's pure evil. Erasmus Utsi, that's so bad. Banks must understand when I'm unemployed, that is not that I don't want to pay, but I'm broke. Nazim Khudboom Utsi, how do you sell a house for 10 rand, but the owner has already paid thousands of rands? The banks are just out of order. Pumlani Nyembe Utsi, this is pure evil. How can you sell a property with such a low amount of cash? Obviously, everyone will want to buy it. Asasiye Eastern Cape ngosinathi ukhona khona ngosinathi sakumule enhlelweni sawubona. Siyaphila kunjani baba?
Sikhona umntana egaza khona njani na?
Ah siyaphila man. Khuluma nathi baba. What's on your mind?
Ngihleka ndandithenge indlu ngo-1995. 95, yes. Ngoku le ndlu yami nda-research emsebenzini ngenxa yempilo. Ngoku into eyenzekile nto kwaxaba indlu kuthiwa no mandiphume endlini ngenxa abantu andikwazi ukubhatala. Ndabachaze uba no ndicela uba inkosi zami ibi-take over installment. Uyaqonda? Kwaxaba ibhenki ayifuni uyamkela loo nto leyo. Uyaqonda? Ndazama kangako ndibhalela amagqwetha ndenza yonke into kodwa ibhenki zange ndimamele kodwa ndimamele ekube ndarenoveyitha kulazi ndafaka ikhabhathi ndakha i-pavement ndenza yonke into kodwa zange iconstruction yonke loo nto ibhenki ndiyibeka kodwa mandiphume endlini.
Alright, baba ngosinathi siyabonga kakhulu ukusishayela kunemmeli ke nalo lo represent alibandla lelungelo lethu. How do you help him in this situation?
Yeah, no, I've said clearly ukuthi ubaba these are kind of people because kune regular because ngokomthetho ibank was supposed to listen to what into ebhedi la ukuthi enye into kufanele esimphiwe sidile ngayo. Kusafuneka ku-restructure this thing ye-financial sector itself. I-20 years contract, what informs the 20 years contract? Ubani oze ne-20 years contract, because for me this contract is one-sided, when it goes to Pick and Pay and a shop right, the customer is always right and is always a king. But when it goes to banks, the customer is always wrong. You understand?
Now see, it's one-sided.
You see, it's one-sided in this sense. Umuntu benefitayo, it's a bank more than the consumer. For instance, in our case, abantu abenza ama loan ngo-1988. Now, ngo-2008, lo muntu wayevictwa usalile mhlawumbe unyaka ucomplete ibond yakhe. It's brutal and abusive. Yonke le mali ayibhadale from these years. You lose. Yazi lento ngesixhosa sibiza ukuthi indoda ibhubhile kodwa usathola umnqwazi. Bonke abantu abayivictiwe their mindset as circle right because i-dignity yabo. Can you imagine if usheriff azokhipha ngalesikhathi daylight? Everybody abona. Where are you in terms of your dignity? Everybody speaks about you. Eviction. Now, most abantu ababa affected more than anybody else. Abantwana. Abanye baba ama-prostitute. Abanye ngoba bafila ukuthi impilo bahlulekile empilweni. And then nobody's care about this. Labantu basafuna ama-trauma, i-mindset yalabantu. Now, you see, I was involved in these things, a struggle. Amongst the other things, basis in the apartheid era, there were two things. The first one was this justice for all, because there were segregation laws. Two was to own the property. Today, we are no longer owning the properties. Today. Now, that's why my question is, if that's why I'm happy with this judgment, because it's a starting point. Because can you imagine from all these years, people were evicted left and right without even getting a cent,
I mean, ukhuluma ngekuthi lama 20-year contracts, they only favor the banks, but they are abusive on the part of our consumers. But doesn't this judgment open the banks to abuse?
No, I think the judgment, it's enforcing what is already there, this judgment. For example, the National Credit Act. National Credit Act details in detail how the bank or financial money lenders should deal with consumers, and it also details the consumers' rights. The question is whether, as consumers, are we aware of our rights? For example, agreement, what are the terms and conditions? And when we find ourselves in distress, because you can make arrangements in the bank. You can even suspend your repayments up to 6 months. It's an arrangement that can be made. I'm unemployed now. Suspend my loan agreement. Those arrangements. Okay. And what the court is saying is that 3 months or 6 months may not necessarily be enough time for a bank to take an action to foreclose, especially when the bond is It's a 20-year bond. It's just like 240 months.
I guess the gist of the question is, why is it ukuthi ngibhadala 20 years, kubhadala indlu, ganzi imoto ngithatha 4 to 5 years, yet imoto, for instance, i-value yayo inkulu kunale yendlu?
Yes. It's based on the fact that the prices as a zindlu are usually high. And what the bank is doing is they try to make it easier for you to pay a bond over a period of time. But it's a good question that's been asked. I know it's been raised in other sectors, so it has to be re-looked at because there's nothing that informs, because in 20 years you pay, the interest may be more than the value, the bond that you have taken.
Yes.
Yeah, but you could have paid twice the amount that you borrowed from the bank.
True.
So it's a historic process that's been there. And with the consumer rights that are being now championed by the Constitution, by our National Credit Act, by the Consumer Protections Act, the consumer rights are now coming forward. It's up to the consumers to be active. You know, that consumer activism, to start asking the right questions, posing the right questions to the financial institutions, and re-looking at the whole things, and engaging also the Minister of Finance, because there could be some justification that benefits, yes, the banks, because over a period of 20 years, they have made 2 million out of 800,000 property. And for example, like you could have paid over half of the purchase price. Then suddenly, you were retrenched, and then you don't get a job, and then the property, because you have used it as security, the bank then is forced to foreclose, to sell the property in order to recover their costs.
All right.
Yeah.
Hi, the discussion on distressed properties is getting more interesting. Kwanyalo sasiphinza sisishele ngasetolo unganyakati siyabuya khona nyalo. Welcome back, everybody. 0117146918 and 0117146919 are participation lines, and they are open. You can also email your thoughts about our programs to consumer@sabc.co.za or catch us on our social media platforms. Distressed properties. Say libhange ke liyayidla iproperty yami babisibiya. Ngoba ngilahlekelwe umsebenzi angisakhona ukuyibhadala bayidle leyo mali, bayidle leyo ndlu baphinze bayithengise, emva kwaloko sengikhana sengibhadala i-shortfall.
Yaba
Yile shortfall and ifika kanjani leyo shortfall?
The shortfall angithi
baba. And ngibhadelelani phela ngoba phela libhange selikuthethe kwabo.
Correct baba. Ilento esibiza kaMpunzi Dlemini. Indlu ithengisiwe okokuqala. Angithi ngoba because okokuqala ibank indlu thathwa iyothengiswa ku auction. Kufuneka ibhadale le mali engiyikolota ibank. Siyatholana. Ikari for instance, ikari idliwe, imoto irepossessiwe. Sezithengisiwe to the next person. Yabo, but ngisabhadala i-shortfall. The question is, this money is a shortfall. Ziyakuphi, ziyakubani? Yabo, because for me, this is an insight yelokuza nebank. You understand that now? Because in your contract, as you stipulate all these things are my shortfall. The question is about iyaphi le mali. Yabo, and it's how much? And it's very for how long? You understand that now? It's not stipulated. So that's why I always call it Kampunzi Dlemini. It's a daylight robbery. Okay. You know? Now, if bank yenze malini with one house.
Yeah.
You know
that.
Yes. Thank you. The issue is a contract. What the National Credit Act has done, Konamanje, National Credit Act, if any money lender, whether it's a bank or financial institution, finally disclose each and every cent on the contract. For example, China as conveyancers, when we deal in some of the contract or the quotation, a bond, it shows good quotation, good. What is the bond amount? What is the insurance amount? For over a period of 20 years, you would have paid. It has to disclose. That's what the National Credit Act says. Disclose everything up front so that the consumer is not surprised at the end of the day. How 500,000, suddenly I'm paying now 1 million. It must be there on the quotation, it must be there with bond contract. So like I sign consumer, we sign both the quotation, the contract. Okay. But now the problem is consumer education sometimes is lacking. And that's why the banks are now forced by the National Credit Act to also give you consumer education. First time home buyers, they must know their rights, they must know their obligations, bond. And now, as conveyancers, we are now enjoined to educate our consumers. They must know, even sometimes it's not my house in the bank. once you buy it, you're just paying the loan to the bank. But from the day you register at its office. So we need to be aware of our rights, our obligations, and our responsibilities, especially where the bond is concerned.
And it's normal to city reserve price.
Yes.
How will this happen? How will it work?
Well,
and can it incorporate a shortfall to the reserve price?
Yes. In Kontolo, once a bank is a foreclose, they need to disclose each and every aspect of the property, how much is being owed, how much have you paid, how much is outstanding, my interest, so that the court goes, okay, now that the consumer has paid more than half of the purchase price, and therefore, whatever, if you are going to sell land in the open market, the consumer must not be found in a shortfall, must not be found to lose over a period of time. And the consumer, if possible, must have something even after losing the house, because the house is not just a home, it's an investment. Because we put money into it. We should not lose without necessarily making an effort from the bank side to go to protect as a consumer.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a double jeopardy.
Yeah.
Let's now take our final commercial break. Before we went to that break, bese sikhuluma nje off air ngenzaba ye auction. Uthi ke nayi ke ijudgment seyiphumile. Nayi ke indlu yami yo auctiona ne date seyibekiwe. Do I have the right yekuyivimba le ndlu yami ukuthi auction?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, now you do have a right. In fact, what the court has emphasized, kule judgment, the court any time between the date auction is set to you and today, you can go and pay whatever. You only have to pay what you are owing, arrears, overdue amount. That's all that you have to pay, overdue amount, and pay bank charges and legal costs or agreed legal costs. That's it. Once you paid it before the date of the auction, the auction you stop.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
you've got that right to stop it. That was also emphasized by a constitutional court judgment. This is First Rand Bank.
Okay.
Judge Diham Musadeke, who was Judge Deputy President at that time, he wrote the majority judgment where he says, you can stop the auction anytime which involves the house. And that even if the order has been given to execute, a court order is there to auction, until the auction, before the money exchange hands, before the buyer exchange hands, you can stop the auction anytime, as long by just paying arrears and paying, because what the court is saying, you should not separate the foreclosure, the selling of the house, and the agreement to take a loan. Because the agreement to take a loan and the selling of the house are intertwined, are the same transaction. So when you pay that amount, you revive the agreement.
Okay. In
terms of the National Credit Act as well. Right. By just making that payment, you revive the agreement. The auction stops because you have satisfied the debt. Yes, you have brought the bond up to date.
Just in closing, auction,
yeah.
What do I do? What's the first step?
No. You see, actually, this is our own judgment, Baba. This is my submission to court. The same argument that. So that's why I'm saying for me it's a victory, because I'm stopping. Already I've started in that process to stop those houses, because some of these judgment, as in now, Rule 46 is not included in the order of court. Because you must remember, when you apply for judgment under Section 4, subsection 2, in terms of Act number 19 of 1998, you know, in your own application, because you see, is it was told I'm a bank, there's a problem. You know, agreement, there's a loopholes in this agreement. That's why you'll find, you know, today, there's a very shocking statement. A bank, umuntu padale, who take the second bond. For argument's sake, Begasale 51,000. Kule first bond. Then he added Wabolega a second bond. A second bond at 220.
How?
So it means now the entirely bond yake is 270,000. Yeah, it all. No argument. Ngempela continuously paying. But it don't work for a wrong da. He contracted bank it must pay 250,000. It must pay 2,500. But this person, not even a single day, he pays 2,500. He was paying more than 3,000 on the month. It means now he was paying upfront.
Yes, yes.
You see, on top of that, the bank came back again and said, we are owing your own areas. Now, him sign a contract, you go to now, Ukoloti Bank another additional 400,000.
All right. Baba Sibiya, now Baba Mhlabe, siyabonga kakhulu kuhlanganyela nathi namhla. Hayi ke mbukeli kwamanje sifike emaphethelweni elihlelo lethu la namhla. Sisibonga ivakashi lethu ngesikhathi lapha siphe sona. Ngithanda ukubuka nawe ke mbukeli ukuthi ube nathi kuze kube manje. Please join us again next Monday for yet another live consumer affairs discussion. Kuthola ke impinzo yetinhlelo lethu. Please tune in to the same channel every Thursday night from 11 p.m. From Isimphiwe Ngwane and the rest of the team, nisale kahle.
Yilungelo lakho